The number one thing that every high schooler needs is kind of ties back to what Made for More does, is they need the experiences to work through it. I always say that they need more labs than lectures. And so when a 16-year-old's looking at life, it's really hard to figure out these questions of, hey, what am I good at? What are some things that I've learned that I don't like, that I do like, without any experience?
If you think about why are we in business and what's our purpose here, I think it's very simply, well, it can't just be mortgages, right? We have to remember that we're here because God has us here on purpose for his glory and for the sake of the kingdom, right?
What I am trying to instill in the next generation, it's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same purpose. I'm just trying to get to them early. And what if every believer, every Christ follower decided to use their work, the work itself, through the work, to glorify God, build his community and kingdom here on earth?
Hey guys, welcome back to More Than a Mortgage. This podcast exists to tell stories of folks generally in our industry for clarity, but because the name of our show is More Than a Mortgage, it does kind of give us the ability to go as broadly as we like, because really anything would fall under that umbrella. So today I'm super excited to have our first guest that is really not business related, not referral partner related to the mortgage business or to that real estate industry at all. It's a personal friend of mine, a guy that I respect a lot. His name is Jordan Mayer, and Jordan runs a nonprofit called Made for More. So I'm super excited to have Jordan on the show today. We want to get some eyeballs on his organization and learn about what Made for More is all about. And yeah, man, Jordan, excited to have you here today.
Yeah, excited as well. Thank you.
Awesome. So Made for More, if you would, I know a little bit about it. You're a friend of mine. We've had conversations over the years, but maybe it's best that we assume I don't know much. And obviously the audience probably doesn't know much. So we'd love to kind of understand what Made for More is, what you guys are all about.
Yeah, so Made for More, we are a nonprofit ministry. And what we say is that we do experiences to help young people build purpose. And primarily that looks like marketplace internships. We got a program here locally in the Valley that we do. We also do like hands-on workshops. And we do all that so that we can help young people discover God's purpose for their life. And so everything we do revolves around that and how we can help them discover those things that they're really trying to figure out.
I love that. That like speaks to the heart of humanity and one of our biggest gaps I feel like we often always have, which is what am I doing and why am I doing it, right? I think we always ask ourselves that question all the time.
Why am I here?
I love that. Why am I here?
Why am I here? Yeah.
What? Tell me more.
Tell me, yeah. So it's one of the most important questions, right?
Yeah.
Well, is how do you answer that question? And for young people when they're age 15, 16, 17 years old, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure that out. And our goal is through our experiences is to say, hey, we want you to gain certain insights and experiences that we can teach through that kind of set the stage for you to understand why you are here, why God has you here, what that means for your life, and how you can apply that for your future. And so one of the main things we really focus on is what does that look like for work? So that's kind of a theme or a thread that we use quite often is because through our program, we actually say this a lot, is that work is the number one opportunity that we have in this life. The number one time consumer more than any other waking activity we spend at work. So how do we love God and serve others through the number one thing that we can do with our time? And so if we understand that, the next question is like, how? What does that actually look like? And what does that mean for my future? Does that mean that works if I want to be somebody who works in the mortgage industry, that wants to be an electrician, who wants to do hair? How does that work? So we use our internship experience to kind of set the stage, have that conversation, and really connect how faith applies to their future in any way that we can.
I love that. That's really, really cool. Thanks for setting that stage for us.
Yeah.
I think we'll dig into that further. I think my goal today is that people get introduced to your organization and that they would get introduced to you as well, and that they would know, like, and trust you, and then want to learn more about how they could partner with Made for More, whether that's through the internship program, like you just mentioned, or whether that's through being a donor or maybe any other opportunities that might be out there. But thanks for sharing that, introducing us to your organization. And I think maybe it's best if we kind of start at the beginning, or maybe not at the beginning, but start years and years and years back. My guess is, as a high school kid, you probably didn't have the vision that you were going to be, establish and run a nonprofit when you got to this season of life, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about maybe how you grew up. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about what's the journey look like. We want to tell story here. What's the journey look like of how we got from then till
Sure.
now?
So I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, Portland area.
Okay.
I am a pastor's kid.
All right.
Look
That
out.
means something.
Look out. Look out.
Yeah. A PK.
I made it out. So I grew up in the church. My dad was a pastor. And yeah, when I was in high school, I had no idea. And so I know I can kind of speak for a lot of people that are my age, us front end millennials, is like, what am I doing? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do with my life? What do I want to be when I grow up? Right? I still don't know. I still talk to people that say that to me. And so part of my story is that when I was in high school, I kind of was drawn to the teaching profession a little bit. So I thought that was the route I was going to go. So I went to college here at NNU, played a little bit of basketball. And when I say played, I mean, I kind of played with the clipboard more than I played on the court. But
You're a tall guy. If people
I'm a
can't
tall
tell.
guy. Yeah. So I can wear that hat, but at the same time, I don't think I was that good.
How tall are you?
6'7".
Yeah.
Don't.
I didn't do anything.
Don't.
I'm just saying you're very tall. 6'7".
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
It's the only time that has any meaning anymore.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I played basketball there. I had a teaching degree. And after I graduated, I taught around the Nampa Public Schools. And I thought I was going to do that for the rest of my life. I wanted to be a basketball coach at that time, teach history, coach basketball, and I would have been fine with that. I still think I could have done that and been okay.
Yeah.
So I taught around Idaho, and then part of my family's background is they started a private Christian school. My dad out of the church as a pastor, and so that had been about 8-9 years in. I went back to Oregon to go do that with him. So for about 9 or 10 years, we ran a private Christian school together, and that was again something I thought I could do for the rest of my life. But I started asking myself about, it's probably like 2017, 2018. I started to get a little uneasy about the fact that we had a lot of students that were graduating through our program and then not where I thought they should have been.
And graduating through, not Made for More, but graduating through
the school that we were
Christian
running.
school that your family was running.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, they're 20, 22, 24, 25, kind of coming back around, and you're connected with families you would hear and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you had the opportunity to kind of check in with students 4 or 5 years later is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially when they have younger siblings that still might be in
Oh,
school
yeah,
or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what we started noticing, and I especially started noticing, is how many of them were not where you thought they would be when they were sitting in front of you when they were 16 years old.
Got it.
And what I mean by that is like, okay, this kid over here, they're a church kid. They come from a good family. They're killing it in school. They're doing everything we asked, straight A's, every marker that you thought you could see at that age.
Yeah.
That they should be where you would expect to be 20, 22, 24 and starting to thrive.
Extrapolate that out.
And they weren't.
Yeah. And
so there was different levels of where their struggles were, but some of them were really struggling with their faith, trying to figure out, no idea what they wanted to do. They were aimless. And it bothered me. It really started to get to me. I was like, why is that the case? And I would actually think of specific kids. What did we miss? Like, what could I have done differently? And so that question kind of put me on the journey to what eventually led to Made for More was, how do we help young people with this? Okay. Because I thought education was the way. If they had the right education, when you create your own program, it's very humbling because you don't have anyone else to blame. Like, well, if it is this, maybe the program did this or this class did that. We're like, well, we did it the way we thought. And I thought we did it well, but I felt like we were missing the key component to where Made for More is what we do at Made for More, is we didn't have enough experiences for young people to really build purpose. They could have a great education. They would have maybe a great faith in the church, and we would reinforce that, but we weren't connecting the two to what it meant for their future. And to me, I got tired of talking about it in a classroom. I said, how can we create these experiences that actually produce the kind of experiences we want them to have? And that's what Made for More is about. So that was the reason why I started it. So I no longer did the school, came back to Idaho, planted my flag, and started Made for More to kind of try to solve this problem that I was seeing. And so far, it's to be seen, but I feel like we're making an impact.
It's awesome.
So yeah, that's the long story of how I got there.
That wasn't very long. You're very concise, actually. We've had many a guests on this show, and sometimes we pull the ripcord and we say, hey, we ask them a question, and they go, and they go, and they go. And I'm like, maybe we should help steer it this way or that way. But no, you did awesome. And I'm curious, did NNU recruit you for basketball? How did you get it to NNU?
I was a walk-on.
Okay, so you would have chose NNU apart from basketball scholarship.
I did choose NNU apart from basketball. Part of that story was I played high school basketball. I wasn't recruited by anyone, and I was ready to be done. And I wanted to go. I was tall. And I wanted to go to NNU through connections to the church, through friends, whatever it might be. And so I just kind of made that decision. And then 1 month before I was showing up for college, the coach called me, found out that I was coming. Because he's like, there's not many 6'7" kids that played high school basketball that are just showing up. Like, come try out. And I was like, I don't know. And I showed up, went there and absolutely got crushed. I was like, college basketball is hard. I remember going to open gym and just getting dominated. And
guys that just know how to use their body that are just shorter,
it's just college athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm not, at 6'7", you're not the biggest guy. There's at least, I've had 3 or 4 teammates that are always bigger than me,
Sure.
6'10", 6'9". Yeah. And I got absolutely dominated. And I went back to my dorm and I was ticked. Like, it got to me. I'm like, that can't be how bad I am.
Did you get dominated in high school too?
No, I was pretty good in high school, just not enough to get recruited. It was all right. I had
but you weren't
moments.
Getting bodied around or anything?
No, none of that. And so I just was so bothered by that I didn't so poorly. And so I went back the next time and I did a lot better.
Like the next day?
I think next open gym, I think maybe 2 days, 3 days later.
Okay, got it. So it wasn't like official, like a practice tryouts or anything like that?
No. And I did a lot better and I never left.
Oh, interesting.
That was kind of like the next step. So that's a little sports history.
So you just made a decision to do better? Is that all it was?
I was so bothered that I was terrible. Like, it just got under my nerves.
But you played basketball long enough to know what you could have done.
I thought I could have done better.
Yeah.
And so I was mad at myself.
Got it.
For that. And I needed to go back and figure that out. And that's kind of a mindset that I always have still. Mm-hmm. When I fail at something, it gets to me. And then I got to make that decision if I want to go try again or I'm okay with that. I'm usually not okay with it.
Are you an Enneagram believer?
Not really.
Not really. Have you ever done Enneagram before? No. You're good. I'm looking for
my achiever. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Are you a number 3?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. I've taken it before. I can't remember, be honest with you, what my thing was.
Yeah.
Every personality test I've ever taken, I'm like, I can probably tell you which one I am before I take it because I know who I am.
Yeah.
And so like, oh yeah, there I am. That's me. But yeah, I think I'm an achiever.
I resonate with that. I don't like to ever be not great at anything that I do. I may not be the best, but I want to be really good at whatever I put my...
You don't want to suck at something? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And I don't really know that I avoid things that I might suck at because I think there's that weird drive of, I want to try something and see if I could be good at it.
Right. But if you're going to still not be good at it, you're not going to keep doing it.
No. I mean, if you've given it the college try or whatever you want to call it, if you've given it effort and you're not good at it and you don't like it, then we're not going to live in that place.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Cool. Well, I appreciate the detour into sports there for just a quick minute.
Yeah.
You said something cool, and I want to frame the question the right way. You talked about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really big questions, right? I think about my 15-year-old son, and he's probably wrapped up in the middle of all of these big thoughts in his head and conversations potentially with himself or with friends or in small group at church. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as much with me, right? Because kids don't really probably have those conversations with their parents.
If you get those conversations, consider them a blessing.
There you go.
But yeah, you're right. No, probably not.
Yeah. And so what I'm getting at is that's a huge question. How do we help kids answer that question? How do we help adults answer that question?
That's a big question that you just asked right there. Like, how do we help kids with that?
Yeah.
So the best way that I can answer that is from a conversational standpoint. It's pretty difficult to say this is what you should do.
Yeah.
So it's about your relationship with your son or your daughter or what that might look like. There's some tips that sometimes I offer, but I think the number one thing that every high schooler needs is kind of ties back to what Made for More does, is they need the experiences to work through it. I always say that they need more labs than lectures. And the reason why that works is because if you think about back on your own life, you and I are a little older than a high schooler. Let's just say that.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. we forget all the years of experience that we're drawing from today.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that. They really don't have the context that you and I have had. And as we get older, we forget that. And so when a 16-year-old's looking at life, it's really hard to figure out these questions of, hey, what am I good at? What are some things that I've learned that I don't like, that I do like, without any experience?
Well, yeah, I mean, so much of you and I deciding what we like now, I'm 43, is because I've had the opportunity to try things and I've lived a lot longer, right?
Uh-huh.
Our kids, my kids, lots of kids that are teenagers, just they don't know what they don't like, largely because they maybe haven't even had the opportunity to try something yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to scroll through your phone, decide what you want to do with your life, it's not going to go very well.
No.
And it creates a lot of angst. And it creates a lot of anxiousness about, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And so for me, you always have to start with, what experiences does your kid have? Or did the teens that you know in your life, what are they drawing from? And that's like what Made for More is. Like, where, if they don't have them, where do they get them? And so I try not to harp on all the extracurriculars that we have prescribed to a lot of our teens, but some of them are not great for answering that question. They're just good activities that are healthy, like playing sports. It's a healthy activity.
Yep.
But what are some of those experiences that they are having that help identify who they are, what they're here for, and how they can apply that to their future? And like an internship, a work internship is that type of experience. I always advocate for parents to have their teens work a job, part-time job in any capacity. That has gone down significantly over the last 30 years for how many high schoolers work a part-time job.
Yeah.
And the internships are a part of that, right? And then another one too that I think is not spoken enough is serving. Is where do young people offer value to somebody else with their time, with their efforts, in any capacity that's not about them? Obviously, serving at church is a natural lane for that.
Yep.
But there's a lot of different ways that can be done too. And if they don't have any of those experiences, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a red flag.
Those are negative markers, right? You would say, right?
Yeah.
No part-time job, no volunteer service opportunity, lots of scrolling in the phone, lots of believing that sports is my purpose or whatever activity that they're invested the most in is going to be who they are forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those things are not identity necessarily, but so many kids would answer questions like, hey, who are you? What, like, and even my daughter the other day, we were having a daddy time, which we call it. Took her out for a donut or something in the morning. And I asked her some more identity style questions. And she's 13 and she was answering, well, I cheer and I this and that. And it's like, well, yes, those are things that you do, but that's not necessarily who you are.
Right. And that's, I mean, at age 40, that's hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Because even with all that experience answering that question, because we get tied into the things we do, because those are descriptors or characteristics of who we are. They're not who we are, but they're portions of how we describe who we are, right?
Yeah.
Like people who are police officers really struggle with this. Like I'm a cop.
Yeah.
To the bone. And they don't know how to separate that.
Yeah.
Athletes have a hard time with this. I had a hard time with it when basketball was over for me and I made sure it was over. I was done. It's like, well, who am I now? I'm a basketball player, but I'm not.
You're a retired basketball player.
I'm a retired basketball player. So what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
Right? It's like the Brett Favre crying in retirement speeches. I don't know what to do without football.
Well, how many guys come back, right? Whether it's whatever sport we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it because they're hungry for identity because they don't know who they are apart from whatever it is they did for the majority of their life?
It plays a part. Not to psychoanalyze them, but it plays a part.
Yeah. Absolutely
does. And for young people, this is what they're trying to figure out. And without experience, it's extremely difficult. Do they need the conversations too? Yes. So that's kind of the separator, what I would say about Made for More that we do a little differently. We're not just brokers of experiences. We teach through them. And so through each of our internships or workshops, we are taking them through a curriculum. We are doing one-on-one saying, how does this align to your future? What does God say about this? What does this mean? And we're using our experiences to have that conversation to teach for them to know. And we just don't send them off and cross our fingers and hope it all works out. But we want to use experience first to create the insight to have the conversation.
Nice. So let's maybe just role play. If you had a 15-year-old that I wouldn't say is purposeless or aimless, but you had a 15-year-old that's wondering, hey, what am I supposed to do with my life?
Mhm.
what would you recommend if we somehow got them connected to Made for More? What would that roadmap or what would that runway look like for them?
Yeah. So all of our experiences would be the first place that we would see if we can get them connected. Other than that, we actually have a purpose assessment
Okay.
that we have. It's called the Purpose Pulse, and they take it and it kind of identifies where you currently are on your purpose. Talking about personality tests, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that'll be on there is one of the 4 key categories is experiences. And what experiences have you had so far? Are you serving regularly? Do you have a job? Do you have all the things that we were just discussing about? And so when it comes to what we offer at Made for More, like we have our internship in the summertime, we're developing more workshops, but we don't have something at all times to offer a high school student, right?
Yeah.
And so we would definitely advocate for those other areas. And we absolutely have a resource for parents too, that they can help produce or create with their kids to develop more of these experiences.
I love it.
Such as, do you want me to give an example?
Yeah,
of
I
those?
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. One that I've always believed in is to try to activate a young person to raise money for a nonprofit of their choice. So do like a little mini fundraiser. Say, pick one. We're going to try to do a little project here and try to get them excited on their own. Pick anything and see if we can create something to help this nonprofit out.
What do the kids usually default to as the activity to raise money?
So, I mean, it could be anything. You're talking about a high schooler here.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually hitting up their family and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like the baseball fundraiser thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what? You're activating in their heart for them to be a contributor.
Yeah.
And those are the things that really spark how God has created us and what that means for them. And so those are the kind of things you want them doing.
Yep.
Another one that's similar to that is, if they're like something like hands-on, they want to make something, can you serve in a way, like, can you make something for someone else? Do you like to like build a fence? Is there what I need? Can you identify? Is it a neighbor? Can you go do this? Maybe it's shoveling a driveway or that kind of a thing. So you put them and empower them to own the process instead of just saying, you need to go show up at the park at 10 o'clock with your bags and your rake, and you need to do that. Now there's value in that.
Sure.
But what if they own it?
Yeah. And it's probably going to be less impactful for them if you schedule them to do it. And then you're really kind of just twisting their arm to get there.
Which is usually how we schedule serving projects for high schoolers.
Yeah.
What if we get them to own the process?
Yeah.
Do what they want to do.
Kind of more like an Eagle Scout project.
A little bit.
In Scouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they have to kind of be creative on what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. So those are some additional things that I always advocate for that can, I think, make a big difference.
What are some of the more impactful internships that you've been a part of or that students have been a part of? Who are some of the partners?
Yeah.
What's that look like?
Yeah, we've had some great ones. So the business people that we partner with, it's a wide range of different denominational beliefs, different people who have different perspectives on it. But the one thing that they all agree on is that they think their work matters and God cares about it. And they like what they do. And so when they bring a high school along, that kind of exposure is so invaluable for a teen to see. And it's what we've seen through our different internships is that relationship and that mentorship is a real eye opener for them. We had a student last year. She was at a local kind of like a private health clinic here in downtown Boise. She was following somebody who was a PA, physician assistant. And through her time with her, she noticed how she interacted with her patients in a way, as a follower of Christ, how she loved on them, that she wasn't so forward with her faith, but just how she went about it. She would never shy down. People would ask about it. It would come up, and she was very, very good at it. And so because of that, she took notice and was inspired by it. And so about a week later, she was at a baseball game, and she was sitting next to this other teen girl. I think it was a Boise Hawks game. She was sitting next to this other teen girl and started having a conversation with her. And she realized that she wasn't a Christian, and she got inspired because she thought, her name was Taryn. What would Taryn do in this situation? So she was thinking about how Taryn did it. And so she decided to get the courage, invited her to church, invited her whole family to church.
Wow.
And they got them all to come the next Sunday.
Cool.
because of what she was witnessing by this person walking around with her faith in a health clinic.
Yeah.
And to me, it just kind of fully puts in perspective of the power for a young person of what it looks like to model something. You can say that all you want, but until she saw it in that context, it made everything look differently to her. And those are the kind of moments you want.
And that's not to dog on parents, because I'm a parent, you're a parent. But that's something often parents aren't able to give to their kids or show to their kids. Not like that, right? I mean, maybe they can model what it looks like to be Christ-like for sure.
Yeah.
But the unique experience that this young lady had in this clinic with this doctor, this PA, that wasn't something that was likely able to be replicated anywhere else.
No, I mean, we are the primary influence in our kids' lives.
We are.
We are. Okay. But the other influences in their lives matter
A lot.
And the more that you can get an adult who shares the same values as you to spend time with your kids to reinforce everything that you've ever taught them. Okay. So every young person.
Aha moments and light bulbs, right?
Yeah. Every young person, okay, whether it's like a known fact is that they are going to test everything mom and dad has told them somewhere or some way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're going to say, I'm going to see if they're right over here. I'm going to see. And so when it's reinforced by other people, that's how they're strengthening their faith. That's how their purpose builds. Because sometimes it goes the other way.
Well, yeah, that's how we learn as adults too, right? That's validation, right? Like maybe my wife or coworker or somebody says something to me, hey, why don't you try this or try that? And I'm like, maybe. But then you go read it in a book and it's like, it hits differently, or it validates or it reinforces whatever that might have been.
Yeah. And sometimes, we have some kids that are pretty stubborn. It doesn't matter what you say.
Correct.
It can be said from a YouTuber, and this person's a genius and you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. Same exact thing, right?
Yeah.
And so some of those relationships that you can develop for young people outside of your own house and parents, this is how like youth pastors are important. This is how teachers and coaches are important.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I just say that, if a teacher, youth pastor, sports coach, whatever it may be, family friend, workplace business person, where is that happening?
Right.
Where is that happening?
Well, it's a gap, right? I think
it is a gap.
And that's where your organization comes from.
Yeah. So that's another way to reinforce what young people need. And they crave that. They will never tell you that, but they crave that. They crave that type of adult interaction. They act like they don't, but they really do.
Yeah, we'll say it on camera. I mean, Avery, my daughter, 13-year-old, I just last minute was like, hey, do you want to come down to the studio today? I'm recording. Yeah, I want to come. And then of course it didn't work because she had other plans, but maybe that's a good example of a kid that craves whatever. This is kind of my workplace, I guess. Right. So,
yeah, I mean, kind of from back to like a dad perspective, do that. Take your kids to work with you. Show them what you do. Most teenagers have no clue what their parents do. If you're a cop, they get that, right?
Yeah.
If you're a teacher, they get that. But do they get what you do, right?
Yeah.
My kids are confused about what I do. Like, what's that mean, right?
Well, have you been working from home for a long time?
Yeah. My son comes in and we're like, what are you actually doing in here?
Yeah.
Are you doing anything? Like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Thanks for the encouragement, buddy. But yeah, that's real work.
I'm on the phone half the time.
I'm actually pretty productive, but you're making me feel like I'm not. You're just looking at the screen. Like, what are you doing?
No.
Right.
Mine thinks so much of my work. They just come in and interrupt me. I'm on the phone and they think I can multitask and I can't. Yeah. And Avery's writing me notes. Can you make me waffles or whatever it is? And it's just like, guys, I'm in the middle of work here. This is important, I think.
Exactly. And the work world today is so different than it was, right? Like if you have one of those jobs where it's obvious, that's cool. But for a lot of us, we have these jobs that it's hard to even explain. So to a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 14-year-old, involve them. Let them know what's going on. If you can, they may, roll your eyes at you, but I would encourage that. Yeah.
That's really good advice. I'll take that advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Bring her next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're coming.
Yeah. Well, it worked out. Potentially would have worked out today because there's no school, but we'll just yank her out of school sometime.
Do it.
Or wait, do it in the summer. Who knows?
There you
go. Tell me a little bit about some of the companies or businesses that are the current partners of Made for More that have been great partners in the past.
Yeah. Like, you want me to name them?
Sure. I mean, if you want. Or you can talk just about the industries or the verticals, or if you want to name
Yeah. I mean, so we have about Currently, we're at about 30 partners right now across the valley. We're trying to get to 40.
And what does it mean to be a partner?
Means to be a partner is you're somebody who wants to offer a summertime internship to high school students.
Okay.
And we, it's very specifically, we call it an internship, but it's more like a shadow-like experience. It's about 4 or 5 weeks, 2 times per week.
It's you guys have it defined on what the program would look like.
Yeah. I mean, literally we're trying to get 8 to 10 visits for being specific.
Yeah.
2 times per week. And so obviously that kind of fits in that window. We've found that to be the sweet spot for the student and for the partner. It's not too much to annoy them. It's enough to make it worth their time.
Like half a day, or how long are we talking?
Yeah. We encourage half days. I would say about 80% to 90% of all our experiences fall into that half day, 2 times per week. Mm-hmm. Some are longer because that's how it works for the partner, and some maybe a little shorter. But all the businesses that we work with, we have all different kinds of industries. Okay. We have healthcare, we have tech, we have trades, we have unique ones. Because the whole point is that God wants to work through every single industry and every single job.
That's right.
It all matters to him. And no matter what job that you have, when done unto the Lord, God cares about it. And so for me, I want every job, right?
Yeah.
I want every opportunity. I want everything for a kid to be able to jump into it. But that doesn't mean that always works for the type of setup that we have. Small businesses usually work really, really well with us because they have the flexibility to bring a student along.
Yeah.
We do have bigger corporations. We have like Dilbaugh Flooring. They're a big company in the Valley. Yeah. We have smaller businesses, smaller trades, painting companies, and then St. Owls, stuff like that.
Is it appropriate for the business to have the right lens of, hey, these are less employees for me that are going to help me be more productive, and this is more me actually serving and giving back? So my half a day I'm giving is probably less productive than what my half a day is without having the student.
Yeah. So what we do say is, hey, you're not going to get a lot out of this.
It's not an output play here.
Yeah. They're high schoolers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Showing up is a good start.
Exactly. You're not going to get like maybe a direct value, but you know what? Sometimes it does. So I say, don't have that expectation that you're going to just, I don't know, get this great future employee, right? That you're prepping for the future to help your business.
Yeah.
But anyone who's worked in a smaller business environment, even a bigger environment, knows that when you have internships around, you can change that dynamic of your culture. And what I mean by that is there's accountability that's already present. How do you act when you're trying to instruct someone? All of a sudden you're teaching more. You're slowing things down. You're more intentional. You're not screwing around.
And those are all good things.
Those are all good things. Having an intern around you, no matter what the circumstances are, will elevate you, your business, and your team. Okay. That's just going to happen. And then
it's powerful.
It is. And I always advocate you should be doing that. And I say you should do it with college students too. That's can be at a higher level, right? Because you could possibly hire them right after that, not the 16-year-old. But we set them with the stage to say, hey, don't expect a lot of this. This is you're doing a service.
It's a ministry opportunity almost.
Yeah. And we want you to teach. So we want you to bring them alongside you and show them what you do with a heart of a teacher. Don't send them in the back room licking envelopes. Don't have them trying to lick coffee. There's a place for that. Okay. They can go to Fancy Freeze or the coffee shop and have that kind of job. Those are valuable experiences, but this is different.
Yeah.
We're going to expose them to much as we can. So some business owners really lean into that. They're like, I'm going to have them spend time with this person, this department. They're kind of moving around, and the experience amplifies because they're spending different areas of the business because they're teaching them along the way. And some of them are really put them hands on. I had a student 2 years ago with a local company, and they gave him a project. I said, hey, there's this AI thing. You just want to go mess with it? And they've been kind of wanting to mess with it. They just never had the time. I said, give it to him. Well, he knocked it out of the park. It went so well with them that the whole team he had to teach the whole team how to use it.
This high school kid.
Yeah. So they brought him in, and he was advocating for him and showing him how to do it. He was putting them on with some of their clients in Arizona to teach them how to use it. These high school kids in AI. And basically the AI technology was just showing how they could translate everything that you say into a different language.
Yeah.
And so they were going to
pretty useful though.
Yeah, pretty useful. He had a congressman friend in Arizona. He was running for re-election, and he was on the call with the congressman in Arizona, showing him how to do this or talking to him about it so that he could speak to his Spanish-speaking constituents.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously? That was happening? He's like, yeah. And then they hired him as soon as he graduated.
And this was a made for more internship.
Correct. Now
Awesome.
that's kind of like, hey, that's the best.
Yeah.
Like, don't expect that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just found this out yesterday. We had a student at a dental office. I didn't know this, but they just hired him.
Oh.
So he was a senior last year. They hired him because he stayed local, and he's working in the office and going to do a dental mission trip with him this spring.
How cool.
Very cool. I was shocked to hear that. I didn't even know that yet. So those are instances of when it goes really, really well.
Yep.
And other times it can be just, hey, they're just kind of around. They're getting all the value out of it. But yeah, that's kind of the range, if that answers it for you.
Sure. It makes sense there'd be a spectrum of value that the student could receive versus maybe just exposure, right? And but as long as it's from a teaching perspective and from a ministry perspective, then it's probably going to be, even if it doesn't seem flashy or very effective, it probably has tremendous impact.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And so some people, if they don't want to be around a high schooler, I don't want them as a partner. Like, we tell people no. Like, yeah, I don't know if I like high schoolers. Yeah, it's not for you.
So that's a good barometer. Like, who's a good partner? Well, you kind of have to be okay being around kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And the patience sometimes, because this is all new to them. This is literally almost all of them, their first experience in this world.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so cool.
Yep.
Some may have a part-time job, and that's a different kind of experience, but a professional environment, whatever it may be, this is their first crack at it.
It's cool. Okay. So 30 partners now.
Yeah.
Looking to expand to 40 and would love to have as far reaching, broad of scope as possible, right? Every industry that would make sense, you'd love to have be a partner with you. So let's identify maybe who are some of the 10, who's probably a weird word. What are some of the 10 gaps that you're looking to fill? Do you have? Yeah,
we could always use more healthcare related.
Okay.
It's a high demand for high school students. They're very interested in the healthcare industry.
Okay.
Right. So specifically, anyone who is in like an RN at St. Owl's, please get a hold of me.
All right. Good to know.
There can be a pathway if you would like to have a student with you. Some of the smaller clinics. If you work at St. Luke's, don't waste your time.
No go there.
No go there.
Interesting.
They don't take it. That's a hard no. And so there's always those kind of barriers and challenges to work around. I mean, I come from the belief that you can make anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a way. Find it. But
run into this brick wall, pivot.
Yeah. Sometimes bigger businesses, you have the bureaucracy of some of their things. Oh, we have insurance. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just made that up. That's just for you to say no. But so there are the bigger business, you can have difficulties. That's why small business can cut through all that immediately.
Yeah.
But healthcare is big. We would really like to have more opportunities in tech and like engineering.
Okay.
That can be a challenge because the work environment can be a little difficult conducive for a high school student. If you think about what it literally looks like, a lot of people in that industry work from home. That doesn't work.
That's true.
You need an office. You need a place for them to show up to.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. So those are two areas that we really would like to add more in the creative and beauty industry as well.
Okay.
Because a lot of young girls like the beauty industry. We could use more in that. In the creative industry, which can mean a lot of different things, but those are some areas that we would welcome.
Okay. So more of the medical field, you guys have some partners there, but more in that space. Yeah. Technology, I'm doing fingers.
Sure.
Creative and beauty spaces.
Yeah.
How about trades? Are you good on trades? Or are you?
We'll take more trades as well. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say we're good on trades, but definitely. Yeah.
Lots of hands-on opportunity in trades.
Yeah. Trades. So some trades are labor laws get in the way.
Okay.
Yep. Like if they're a roofing company, they can't get on the roof.
On the roof, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be 18. There's some things like that, but a lot of tradespeople are really about this because the trades world is desperate.
Yeah.
For people who care about their jobs. But it's kind of a different sector than you and I are used to running in a little bit. So it can be difficult to connect with people in the trade sometimes. So
yeah, I've got a few that I want to connect you to. one in particular from a conversation yesterday. So let's pivot here just real quickly.
Yeah.
You mentioned you were on a podcast previously.
Yeah.
What was the name of that podcast?
I think it was called, the name of the organization is At Work on Purpose. I think the podcast is called, I can't remember off the top of my head.
No problem. At Work on Purpose. That's really what I wanted you to be able to spit out.
That was the name of the organization that he's from.
One of the reasons I wanted to have you on this show was because you've had a big impact on me, both personally and professionally in multiple ways. So last year was your inaugural Made for More. I might botch this, but Faith and Work Breakfast. Is that what it's called?
That's what we called it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had a panel. And 3 speakers. You had a Christian Brothers guy. You had an Inspired guy. Yeah.
Robert Netzley.
Yep. And then you had Casey from Dillabaugh Flooring. And really great panel. And the event was amazing. I came away feeling like I got exposed to a community of business people that love Jesus that I wasn't really as exposed to. And so I'm really, really grateful for the work you're doing in that space. And I think your connection to that podcast, was it called Faith and Work? Is that what it was?
At Work on Purpose.
At Work on Purpose. Wow. I can't remember that, but I think that was a really perfect fit for you. I also really, really appreciate your involvement with the Faith Driven Entrepreneurs local chapter as well. So those are things that I've been really quick to share about in kind of the community that I run in. And I'm so grateful to be able to get exposed and become friends and partners with people that want to do things for the right reasons, really for the Lord, right? Because if you think about why are we in business and what's our purpose here, I think it's very simply, it can't just be mortgages, right? And it can't just be a nonprofit or whatever that is. It can't just be fill in the blank anything. We have to remember that we're here because God has us here on purpose for his glory and for the sake of the kingdom, right? And so how cool is it that I think you've helped me to identify just call it a community of people that want to do business, but with Christ at the center, which I think is awesome because in my industry specifically, we get to choose who we want to work with, who our partners are, right? And it's been really encouraging for me to see the faith forward elements that you're part of and has really helped kind of, I think, ignite me to believe like, hey, I can be really choosy with who I want to work with. And not that I don't want to work with people that aren't believers, but man, it's so encouraging to be able to see eye to eye with a believer that's a partner, whether that's a real estate agent or an insurance agent or a CPA or an estate attorney or you fill in the blank or whatever. And so I'm really grateful to you for your work in that. And I'm excited for next week's breakfast. So this podcast, unfortunately, isn't going to launch before.
Right.
You're sold out anyway, so we don't really need to necessarily promote that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for next week's event, and this will air after that event. So maybe you just preview it for us, though, just a little bit. Because I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. So Made for More's second annual Faith and Work Breakfast. Did the first one last year. We were grateful to have 150 Christian business owners and professionals to attend. This year we have sold out for 250.
Crazy.
And one of the things, maybe kind of share the backstory of that a little bit, is one of the Made for More themes is that how do we glorify God through our work? All work matters. What does that mean for our future? And that's where we're connecting to the next generation and young people. And what I started realizing is talking with Christian business owners and professionals and kind of creating this network of people to make this work was how much we should all be talking to each other.
Yeah.
And what I am trying to instill in the next generation still needs to be known and understood by somebody who has 30 years of professional experience. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same purpose. I'm just trying to get to them early. And what if every believer, every Christ follower decided to use their work, the work itself, through the work, to glorify God, build his community and kingdom here on earth? If that actually happened, we would transform this valley. We would transform the world around us because we all work. We're all around the different places. So if we looked at it through that lens, what does that look like? I'm inspired to do that to the next generation. That's the seed I'm trying to plant in their heart, is that they can have that influence for the kingdom through work. And when they do that, I think everything changes. But it also means that I'm around adults who need to hear that as well.
Yeah.
And so I've leaned into that. And so we don't have that great faith and work perspective as I just described it uh, in this valley. And so
Well, we don't have it naturally. Let me just say it that way,
Yeah.
right? It takes intentionality.
we're not taught that
Right.
in the faith community.
Sure.
It's not talked about a lot in the faith community. There's been a separation, what you call a sacred secular divide.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. And so Made for More has kind of not been the plan to kind of be a part of that. And so I decided to lean into that and to bring mornings like this together that don't even really directly benefit Made for More, but they benefit the kingdom.
They probably benefit Made for More.
I mean, I need to make sure that it aligns because I'm not into running a separate thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying that what you're doing isn't amazing.
Right.
There's no criticism on my part. I think it's actually very wise. I don't even think it's strategic for you to try to find Made for More partners. I think it's just, it's accidentally going to happen whether you
Correct.
want it to or not.
Correct. But for me, that's not why I put all the work in to
Correct.
do it. I do it because I know why Made for More exists. I want to work with the next generation. We're on a mission to help them discover God's purpose for their life. And I want to build the kingdom through the next generation. But I want to build the kingdom first.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's happening because there's adults who are being ministered through this as well, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Because it's ultimately the same result that I'm trying to achieve. And so burning this breakfast and doing things like that are a desire to bring the community together, have that conversation, think about it, be inspired, and continue the conversation going forward. So it's just a breakfast. We're going to talk about that. We have a speaker coming in from Texas. He is the CEO of C12. C12 Business Forums is a peer group, Christian peer group that does it basically just helps businesses run a kingdom business. That's the best way I can describe it. They're a pretty large organization. They're global now. So he's coming in from Texas to kind of set the tone for that a little bit, which I'm very excited for. He's a very well-known and renowned, and respected faith and work figure nationally.
Cool.
In this space. So to him come to Boise is a big deal. So I'm grateful for that and just hoping for a great morning and people walk away inspired to want to use their work for his glory. And so if that happens, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, I think it's a very natural relationship between this breakfast that's once a year at this point, right? So anybody watching this, call it weeks or months from now, maybe we'll have heard about how it went next Thursday. But at the same point in time, maybe this will actually provide some intrigue for next year's event, which I'm hoping that you're planning to do, right? Who knows at this point?
It's annual. Yeah, I use the word annual. So next year we'll do it again for sure.
That's great. Yeah. What I was going to say is I know, I'm very confident people want community, especially in relation to this conversation, right? I think Christ followers are hungry to meet other Christ followers in the workplace, in the marketplace. And so you're doing some awesome work, and I'm very, very grateful for your leadership there. And I'm blessed to be able to benefit from it. So maybe let's wrap this up. What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you? So ideally, you touched some hearts today, right? Or worst case scenario, somebody's like, oh, I kind of like this guy. I want to know more.
Yeah.
What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
Yeah. Easiest way is obviously we have a website, madeform.org. Go on there and you can get an idea of what we have. There's ways to contact us on there, sign up for things. That's the easiest. You can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Yep.
Connect with me there.
And you're a pretty regular contributor to LinkedIn. I see your stuff.
A little bit here and there. Yeah. I try to be.
It's value added. It's good.
That's right. And then you can I post my newsletter on there. And you can sign up for that through the website and all those type of things. So that's just the easiest way, right? The digital connection to get involved and see that. We do have if you're a family, a parent, we have an internship fair coming up in April.
Oh, cool.
We haven't quite made the announcements for it because we're ways out. People don't plan 3 months for a Saturday. But that's how we launch off our season of internships. Is we have an internship fair where all our businesses come together that we're offering an internship for, and high school's parents and their families come through and check it out. It'll be April 11th at Rock Harbor Church.
Nice.
On a Saturday morning. So
cool.
Just kind of throw that out there and look out for that opportunity to our in-person event specifically for high school student families and that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks for giving us your time. I know you're a busy guy, and I know that you've got a full calendar. So we appreciate you being willing to come chat with us. This is an awesome introduction to your organization. And thanks for being true to the Lord and sharing your story. Appreciate you being here today.
Yeah. Thanks, Gavin. Good time. Anytime.
Love it. Thanks, Jordan.
Yep.